Hello everyone, I'm Ajaya. Today let us look at operation on real numbers. So what do we mean by operation? Operation means we can, so they are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division as we all know. So they can be performed on real numbers. So as we all know, real numbers can be integers, irrational and rational numbers. We are already very comfortable with the integers, doing operations like these on integers, like 2 plus 2 is 4, 2 minus 2 is 0, 2 into 2 is 4, 2 by 2 is 1. So we are comfortable with all these. Now let us look, if we look at that, integers come under rational numbers. So we might mainly discuss on two. So we might mainly discuss on operations on rational numbers and operations on irrational numbers. Now let us look at operations on rational numbers. So as we all know, first let us look at addition. For example, 2 by 3 plus 3 by 2. We all know how to add this. We take LCM, that is 3 2s are 6 and 3 2s are, so this would be 4 plus 3 3s are 9. So this would come up to 9 plus 4, 13 by 6. So this is the addition. If we come with the subtraction, it is 2 by 3 minus 3 by 2. If we take, this would be equal to, again LCM is 6. As 4 minus 9, this would be equal to minus 5 by 6. So now if we look at multiplication, 2 by 3 into 3 by 2, this would be equal to 3 gets cancelled, 2 gets cancelled, so this would be equal to 1. And if we look at the division, it is 2 by 3 whole divided by 3 by 2. So how do we do this? The denominator goes to the numerator. So this would be equal to 2 into 2 divided by 3 into 3. This goes here. So this would be equal to 4 by 9. So if we look at this, when we add two rational numbers plus a rational number, we get a rational number itself. Subtracting two rational numbers gives me a rational number itself. Multiplying two rational numbers gives me a rational number. Dividing two rational numbers gives me a rational number. Some of you might have problems with division of two rational numbers. So let us revise some concepts. So if I have something as a by b whole divided by c by d. So what I do is I take denominator goes to the numerator. Repeat it again, denominator goes to the numerator, and this goes here. So this would be equal to a into d by b into c. So let us see if they have given like a by b by c. So how do we do that? It is again the same thing. We divide this, take this as a by 1. So this would be again denominator goes to the numerator. So this would be a into c by b. This one goes here. Okay. So say they have given by b by a whole divided by c. Then what happens? This denominator is 1, so this goes to the numerator. This just multiplies out here. So this would be b by ac. So I believe you would not get confused with this part of the division. Denominator always goes to the numerator. Okay. Now, if we are comfortable with these operations, let us look at the properties of these operations. So let us look at the first property, that is the closure property. That is addition of two rational numbers is rational number, which we saw. Subtraction of two rational numbers is rational number. Multiplication of two rational numbers gives us a rational number. Division of two rational numbers gives us a rational number. We already saw this, saw examples for this. Now let us come to another property called the commutative property. So in addition, if we add a plus b, is that equal to b plus a? 2 plus 3 is equal to 3 plus 2, right? So yes, this satisfies the commutative property. Now, if we look at this, is subtraction, is 2 minus 3 equal to 3 minus 2? No, this is minus 1 and this is equal to 1. So it is not equal. So it does not satisfy subtraction. Subtraction is not commutative. If we do the multiplication, so let us take 2 by 3 into 3 by 2. Is it equal to 3 by 2 into 2 by 3? Yes, both get cancelled and we get 1. Yes, therefore it is commutative. Multiplication is commutative. If we look at the division, if we take 2 by 3, is that equal to 3 by 2? No, it is not. So therefore division is not commutative. So addition and multiplication is commutative. Subtraction is not, and division is not commutative in rational numbers. Conclude that addition and multiplication of two rational numbers is commutative, but subtraction and division of two rational numbers is not commutative. We'll move to the. So now let us look at associative property. What does this say? A plus B plus C. When I add A plus B first and then add A, B plus C first and then add A is same as A plus B plus C when I add A plus B and then add C. Is it same? Yeah, it is just addition, so it remains same. We all know that. But if we look at A minus B minus C, when I subtract B minus C first and subtract it to A, or is same as A minus B minus C. So wait, let us look at examples. So then we'll be. So how do I do this? I write 2 plus 3 plus 5 is equal to 2 plus 3 plus 5. So when I add this first, should be equal to when I add this first. So this would be equal to 2 plus 5, 6, 7, 8. So this would be equal to 10. And here also 2 plus 3, 5 plus 5. This will also be equal to 10. So yes, both are equal. So now if I look at this, this would be 2 minus 3 minus 5. 2 minus 3 minus 5 minus 5. And I should subtract this first. So this would be 2 minus of minus 2. This would be minus 1 minus 5. So this would be minus 4. This would be minus 6. So yes, the subtraction is not associative. Okay. So see, we get minus 4 here, minus 6 here. So it's not associative. Now let us check for multiplication. So how do I do that? 2 into 3 into 5, 2 into 3 into 5. I have to multiply this first. I have to multiply this first in the right hand side. So in the left hand side, 3 2s are 6, 6 into 5, 6 5s are 30. Here 5 3s are 15 into 2. So 15 2s are 30. So 30 and 30, yes, the multiplication is associative. Now let us check for the division. 2 by 3 divided by 5. I have to divide this. So what will, how much will I get? This goes here to the denominator. So this would be 2 by 3 into 5. That would be equal to 2 by 15. When I look at the right hand side, it will be 2, 3, 5. I have to do this first. So when I when I do this first, this would be like denominator goes to the numerator. So this would be equal to 2 into 5 by 3. Do you get it? So this would be equal to 10 by 3. So 2 by 15 is not equal to 10 by 3. So the division is not associative. So in the associative property of rational numbers, addition is associative and subtraction is not associative, but multiplication is yes associative and division is not associative. Now let us come to the distributive property. So what does this distributive property have to say? When I multiply A into B plus C, it gets distributed, like it gets distributed as I distributed it here. So it would be A into B plus B A into C. So A gets distributed to B and C. Yes, is this right? Yes, it is right. Let us check with an example. It is 2 into 3 plus 5. So this is equal to 3 plus 5. If I add 8, 2 into 8, so this would be equal to 16. So I have to distribute it. So that would be 2 into 3 plus 2 into 5. So that would be equal to 6 plus 10, that would be equal to 16. So yes, it is a distributive property and it satisfies for rational numbers. So the same happens for subtraction also, a into b minus c, and this gets distributed to b and c, a into b minus a into c. Now let us look at operations on irrational numbers. So when we say operations, as we all know, it is addition. So let us take an example, root 6 plus root 6. So when I add two irrational numbers, root 6 and root 6, what do I get? I get 2 root 6. And subtraction, root 6 minus root 6. It is 0. And what happens if you multiply root 6 into root 6? What happens? I told you, it is root a into root b would be equal to root ab. So this would be root of 6 into 6. That would be equal to root 36. That would be equal to 6 itself, because it is 6 square. Okay, square root of 6 square is 6 itself. So now I will do division. It is root 6 by root 6. So this would be equal to, it would get cancelled and this would be equal to 1. So now I will take another example. It is root 6 plus minus root 6. So what happens? I get 0. I'll do as root 6 minus of minus root 6. I get 2 root 6. And if I do multiplication, I'll take root 6 into root 3. So what would happen? I would get root of 6 into 3, that is root 18. And in division, I would do root 6 by root 3. So this would be equal to root of 6 by 3. So that would be equal to 3 ones are 3 twos are. So this would be equal to root 2. So if I look at the trend here, it is irrational number plus irrational number gives me irrational number or rational number. If I irrational number plus minus irrational number gives me irrational rational number or irrational number, and the same case with this also, it gives me rational number or irrational number. Here it is giving rational number, here it is I'm giving irrational number. So I can conclude that irrational number plus irrational number or irrational number minus irrational number into irrational number or irrational number divided by irrational number gives me irrational or rational number, right? So what is this? This is my first property, that is closure property. Closure property of irrational numbers. All other properties remain same as the rational number. Like it remains same as the rational numbers. Like in commutative property, addition and multiplication satisfies, but subtraction and division does not satisfy. While in associative and multiply again satisfy, the subtraction and division does not. And the distributive property remains same, where a and b are irrational numbers. Okay, so this is the properties of irrational numbers. Everything remains same except the closure property, where the operations on irrational numbers can be either irrational or rational. Now let us look at another case. Let a is an irrational number and b is a rational number. So what happens when one is an irrational number and other is a rational number? So rational number plus an irrational number, or a rational number minus an irrational number, or a rational number into irrational number, or a rational number divided by irrational number, or vice versa, irrational number divided by rational number, anything might be. So this would give me irrational number always. Okay, like for example, let me take 2 is a rational number plus root 3 is an irrational number. This would give me 2 plus root 3, which is an irrational number. It is a different type of irrational number. When I add it, I get an non-terminating repetitive decimal point. So it's an irrational number. It cannot be expressed in terms of a fraction. It again goes with 2 minus root 3, a rational number minus a rational number. And when I multiply to rational number into irrational number, this would be 2 root 3. It is again a rational number. And the same happens with 2 by root 3 also, or root 3 by 2, whatever it may be. Now let us summarize what all we have learned. So if I look at a rational number plus rational number, or a rational number minus a rational number into rational number, or division of rational numbers, I get rational number itself. And in this case, irrational plus irrational, irrational minus irrational, irrational into irrational, or division of irrational numbers would fetch me an irrational number or a rational number. Are we clear with this? On when I multiply a rational and irrational, or do operations with rational and irrational, I get irrational. When I do operations with only rational, I get rational. When I do operations with only irrational, I may get irrational or rational. So now let us look at some properties before moving further. Let us consider two positive real numbers, because we don't know to take the root of minus negative numbers, right? So if we take the root of a square, it is square root of a square. So the square root and the square gets cancelled and we get a itself. Now let us see the next property. It is root a into root a. Root a into root b gives me root ab. It is the same thing. Root ab is root a into root b. Root a into root b is root ab. We have seen this earlier. That is same thing as written in this form. The same thing. Root a divided by root b can also be written as whole under root a by b. Right? Now let us look at root a plus root b into root a minus root b. So how do I do this? Root a into root a is root a into root a. That is root a square. Then root a into minus root b. Minus of root a into root b, and root b into root a, plus root b into root a, then root b into root minus of root b into root b. If I look at this, root a into b or root b into a, both are same. So these gets cancelled. Root a into root a is root a square. This is root a square, and root b into this is root b square. So what do I get? I get it as a minus b. Okay. So so in this place we have to remember some formula. That is, we have already seen x plus a or x plus y into x minus y is nothing but x square minus y square. Right? In this case, look at this. This is x. This is x and this is y. X plus y, x minus y. So what happens? It is answer is x square. That is root a square. That is a minus root b square. Root b square is b itself. So we have to remember this formula. This formula is very important. We would be using this in rationalizing the denominator. So remember this formula. It is very useful. X plus y into x minus y is x square minus y square. Now let us use, okay, let us see the next one. A plus root b into a minus root b. We can use this because it is x plus y into x minus y form. Both are same. So I would get a square minus root b square. That would be equal to a square minus b. Right? This is more simpler. Or else I can do it by multiplying this like this. That would be longer. Now the next one. A plus b into c, root c minus root a plus b into root c minus root b. Here I can't use this formula because a plus b, this thing is not same like that. So we have to use our normal multiplication. So root a into root c, and root a minus of root a into root d, then root b into root c plus root b into root c, then minus of root b into root d, right? Now next one is root a plus root b the whole square. We can do this by normal multiplication method, or we can just use the formula. That is we can take this as 2x and x plus y the whole square, and we can just expand this as we do. It is a x square, that is root a the whole square plus root b the whole square plus 2 into root a into root b. So this is nothing but a plus b plus 2. Root a into root b is root ab. In the same way, we can simplify here also. It is root ac minus root ad plus root bc minus root bd. Is it fine? Okay. If I wanted to give you an example for this case, let us take to prove root 5 plus root 4 into root 5 minus root 4, for example. So what happens if we multiply, we need to get using this formula. It is root 5 is x, so x root 5 square, that is 5, and y square minus y square minus y is root 4. Root 4 square is 4 itself, so it is 1. So see, this is much more simpler than doing this long process. So we prefer using this formula, which is very important. Please remember this. So let us look at some problems based on those properties. I expect you to write all those properties and keep it next to you and practice it. Okay. So now let us look at the first problem. Multiply 6 root 5 into 2 root 5. So I can write this as 6 into root 5 into 2 into root 5. So what is this? I can multiply root 5 into root 5. What is root 5 into root 5? Root 5 into root 5, root 5 square. That would be 5 itself. Then I have 6 into 2. So 5 2s are 10. 6 5 is 30. 30 into 2 is 60. So I would get 60 as the answer. So now let us look at addition of two numbers. So that is 2 root 2 plus 5 root 3. We have to add plus root 2 minus 3 root 3. Now here, if we look at this, we can add only the like numbers. That means we can add meter to meter, kilogram to kilogram. So like that, we can add root 3 to root 3 and root 2 to root 2. We can't add root 3 to root 2. Okay, so how do I do? It is 2 root 2. I can add root 2 and root 2 root 2 and root 2. So this would be 3 root 2. And then if I add 5 root 3 and 3 root 3, 5 root 3 minus 3 root 3 would give me plus 5 minus 3 is 2 root 3. So this is how we get the answer. We can add or subtract only the like numbers, like root 2, and root 3, root 5, etc. Now let us divide 8 root 15 by 2 root 3. So this would be 8 root 15 divided by 2 root 3. So now I can write this as 5 3s are 15. So this would be 8 into root 5 into root 3 by 2 root 3. How did I get this? Because root a into root b is equal to root ab. So I use that and I got this. Or we can also write this as 8 by 2 into root of 15 by 3. It is the same thing. So root of 15 by 3 would be equal to 5 ones are 3 ones are 3 5s are, or I get cancelled here. In the same case, we get 8 root 5 by 2 as the answer, or this is 4 root 5. Now let us go with the next concept. Now we have to rationalize the denominator. We learn this by solving some examples. So if we look at the denominator out here, it is root 2. That is irrational. So I need to rationalize this. So how do I rationalize? I multiply it with the same number. Multiply and divide with the same number. Root 2 divided by root 2. So what happens? In the numerator, I get root 2 by root 2 into root 2 is root 2 square. That is nothing but 2 itself. Right? So here, if I see the denominator is rational number, so I have rationalized it. So when I have an irrational number, I have to multiply it. Now let me take a different case. I have 5 by root 3 minus root 5. So when I have it in this case, what I need to do is I should multiply it with with the number with an opposite sign. Root 3 plus root 5 divided by root 3 minus root 5. So what happens here is, if you remember the formula, it is x plus y into x minus y, that is equal to x square plus y square. So when I get 3 square minus 5 square, it becomes rationalized. So that is why I make it in the form of x plus x minus y into x plus 5. Do you understand? So I get x square minus y square, which becomes rationalized. So now what happens here is I get 5 into root 3 plus root 5 in the numerator divided by, this is in the form of x plus y into x minus y. So I get 3 root 3 square, that is 3, minus root 5 square, that is minus 5. So I have 5 into root 3 minus root 5 divided by minus 2. Minus 5 by 2 into root 3 minus root 5. Okay. So, so we might have confusions on what to multiply. So, so let us take some examples. If we have some number by root a plus root b, then we have to multiply it by root a minus root b and divided by root a minus root b. And if we have some number like root a minus, we have to multiply, we have to change the sign. So root a plus root b by root a minus plus root b. Okay. So we have to change the sign and multiply and divide with the same number so that it is 1. So it does not change the value of the equation. So if we have any number like a plus root b, then it's the same thing. We have to just change the sign, a minus root b. Or if we have root a we have to just change the sign. It is root a minus, oh, we have already seen this. Let me take out the root. Minus b by root a minus b. Or if we have something like root a minus b, then again we have to change the sign, root a plus b by root a minus b. So I think this would suffice. So this would be sufficient. So now let us move to the problems to understand. So I have this. So what I need to do is just multiply by 2 minus root 3 by 2 minus root 3. So it is, when I cancel it, it is 1. So it does not change the value of the equation. So if I do this, what do I get? I get 2 minus root 3 by, in the denominator we use this equation. So it is, this is x and this is y. So x square is 2 square is 4 minus root 3 square is 3. So I get 2 minus root 3 by 1. 2 minus root 3. Okay. So let us do with this also. So what, even if it is like this, I have to just change the sign and multiply. So it is 7 minus 3 root 2 divided by 7 minus 3 root 2 with the same number. We multiply and divide. So what happens in the numerator? It remains the same, that is 7 minus 3 root 2 divided by, here we use the same formula, 7 square is 49 minus 3 square is 9 and into root 2 square is 2. So this would be 9 2s are 18. So this would be 18. So 49 minus 18, I would get it as 31. So 7 minus 3 root 2 divided by 31. So here we have how to rationalize the denominator. So let us look at these examples of the exercise to become familiar. So classify the following as rational or irrational. So if we look at this 2 minus root 5, this is rational. Root 2 is rational number, root 5 is irrational number. Rational number minus irrational number is definitely irrational. Right? Now let us look at the next problem. This one. This is a irrational number minus irrational number. So it can be rational or irrational. It can be rational number or irrational number. So we need to solve this. So how do we solve this? 3 plus root 23 minus root 23. Root 23 gets cancelled. I get 3. So this is rational. This is a rational number. Now, let us look at this problem. This is irrational number by irrational number, so it can be rational number or irrational number. So we have to solve this. So how do I solve this? Root 7 gets cancelled, so I get 2 by 7, which is rational. This is rational number by irrational number. So rational by irrational is definitely irrational. Right? Now this is 2 is multiplication. It is rational number into irrational number. So this is also definitely irrational. We will look at the next exercise. Let us simplify each of the following examples. So they have given 3 plus root 3 into 2 plus root 2. So how do I simplify this? We need to multiply. 3 2s are 6 plus 3 into root 2. So that is 3 root 2. Then root 3 into 2. That would be 2 root 3 plus root 3 into root 2. Root 3 into root 2. So I can write this as 6 plus 3 root 2 plus 2 root 3 plus I can write this as root of 6. because root a into root b is root ab. So I can write it as root 6. So this is the answer. So if I look at the second problem, it is 3 plus root 3 into 3 minus root 3. So how do we do this? We again multiply. 3 3s are 9 plus 3 into minus of, sorry, 3 root 3. Then this, that would be plus 3 root 3 into minus of root 3 into root 3. I would get as 9, and these two gets cancelled. I would get as minus root 3 into root 3 is root 3 square, that is nothing but 3. I would be getting this as 6. Or I can solve this in another method. If we remember the formula that x minus y into x plus y is equal to x square minus y square, I can directly write this as, see, this is in the form of x plus y into x minus y. So I can directly write this as 3 square is 9 minus root 3 square is 3, that is 6. I can directly write it. No need of this step. So let us look at another problem that is root 5 plus root 2 the whole square. I can write this as root 5 plus root 2 into root 5 plus root 2 and expand it like this. But I would be simply using my a plus b the whole square formula, that is a square plus b square plus 2ab. That would be root 5 square would be 5 plus root 2 square would be 2 plus 2 into root 5 into root 2. So I will be getting as 5 plus 2 is 7 plus 2 into root 5 into root 2 is root a into root b is root ab. So 2 into root 10. So this is my answer. Let me look at this problem, that is root 5 minus root 2 into root 5 plus root 2. I can expand and solve like this, or I can directly use this formula. That is root 5 whole square minus root 2 the whole square, that is nothing but 5 minus 2 is equal to 3. Simple. So now let us read the next problem. Recall pi is the definition as the ratio of the circumference of the circle to its diameter. That means, as we all know, pi is the ratio of the circumference to the diameter, where in the circle the diameter is d and the circumference, the length, is c. So pi is given by the ratio of the circumference to the diameter. Okay, we all know this. So when we see this, this seems to contradict the fact that pi is irrational. How do you resolve this contradiction? So when we see this, pi is being expressed in the form of two numbers, a by b form. So if this is expressed in the a by b form, this seems to be rational. So how do we, but we know that pi is irrational. So how do we remove this contradiction? To remove this contradiction, we have to have any one of this as irrational. That means the numerator should be irrational or the denominator should be irrational, because we know irrational number by a rational number or a rational number by irrational number is always equal to irrational number, right? So we if we prove any one of this is irrational, then it would be an irrational, then pi would be an irrational number. Now let me take that, I take d as 2 exactly, that this is a rational number, right? So when I take d is as 2, which is a rational number, I have to find c. So how do I find c? I use some apparatus, I use some thread or some other instruments, a compass or a divide or some instrument, and I measure the circumference. So when I measure the circumference, I do not get the exact value, but I get an approximation. Like in the scale, if I measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if I get some point here, So how do I take it? I use the successive magnification, and I get some value. I use the successive magnification 4, 5, and I get some value, and I keep on doing it, and at last I use a approximate value which is not perfect. How much more can I do successive magnification? I can do it 10, 20, 100 times, but as I keep doing it, it keeps on going, but we approximate at some point. So I can conclude that that as our circumference value is just an approximate value when I measure it, and yeah, and if we look at the pi value, this is manually we just approximate it, but in the, our scientists have used supercomputers to calculate the pi value, and they have got the c value to be being non-terminating and non-repetitive decimal value. Okay, so by looking at the approximation and the scientific values using the supercomputer, we can deduce that, we can conclude that pi is irrational. So we can tell that when the denominator, when the diameter d is rational, c would be irrational, or if both are irrational, again pi is irrational. So I can write it. So we can write it as when we measure the length of the line with a scale or any other device, we get only an approximate value. So C or D is irrational number. So we get C by D as irrational. Hence, we get pi as irrational number. So this resolves our contradiction. So now if we go, the fourth problem is about plotting it on the number line, which we have already seen in the second video. So we'll go to the fifth problem. Now let us look at the fifth problem, rationalize the denominators for the following. We have to rationalize 1 by root 7. What do? We multiply by root 7 and divide by root 7. So this would be, in the numerator, root 7 would remain the same. Root 7 into root 7 is root 7 square, that is 7 itself. So root 7 by 7, it is rationalized. Now let us look at the next problem. Here, so what do we do in this case? 1 by root 7 minus root 6, we multiply by root 7, we change the sign, plus root 6 by root 7 plus root 6. So this is in the form of x plus y into x minus y. So what do we get? Numerator remains the same, divided by root 7 square, that is 7, minus root 6 square, that is 6. So that is equal to 1. So it is root 7 plus root 6. So now let us go to the next problem, that is 1 by root 5 plus root 2. What do we do here? We multiply and divide by the same number but different sign in the center, minus root 2 by root 5 minus root 2. So it is again x plus y into x minus 5 form. So it will be, numerator remains same, divided by 5 square, root 5 square is 5, minus root 2 square is 2. So this would be root 5 minus root 2 by 3. Let us look at this problem, root 7 minus root 2. So we multiply by root 7 plus root 2 by root 7 plus root 2. We change the sign in the center. So what do we get? We get numerator remains same, 7 plus root 2, because there is nothing here to multiply. And here if we do, it is x plus y into x minus y, but that is x square minus y square. That is root 7 square is 7 minus 2 square is 4. So I get this as root 7. Oh, sorry. What have I written here? It is just 2. Root 7 plus 2 by 3. Yeah, this is good. So we'll meet in the next class. Till then, have a nice time. Bye.